Hello everyone, my name's Margaret and today's going to be the first of 3 videos bringing you through every component of setting up your online course using Teachable. So in the next 3 videos, we're going to cover what Teachable is, the different plans that are included, we're going to upgrade to the correct plan for our uses, fully upload a functioning course, and set up the full sales flow, and then finally test it to make sure everything's working well. So in the description, as well as up here on my screen, I've created a checklist. So this is basically what we're going to go through in video 1. We're going to go through the setup. So part 1, the full setup. Part 2 is going to be for the upload. I'm going to link all of these videos in the description. So if you miss any of them, or if you want to click right to the next one, feel free. I'm also going to set these up as chapters as well too. So if you need to go to a certain point in the checklist, feel free to click the link to go directly there. Part 2 is going to be the upload. We're going to upload all the course material. We're also going to create a bundle. So we're going to create a course, a digital download, and then put those together in a bundle, which is what we're going to sell. And then part 3, integration and launch. We're going to make sure our payment processors are all set up. We're going to make sure it's integrated with our third-party email service provider. And if none of what I'm saying makes sense, please stay tuned because I'm going to cover all of it in the next 3 videos. All these videos are going up at the same time, so you don't have to wait in between them. You'll see the other 2 parts of this series linked below as well too. Great, so let's dive in. First off, we're going to set up our account. Now, I've already signed up for Teachable, but I've signed up for the basic free account, and in this process, I'm going to show you how to upgrade, which account is best for what, and if you really do need to upgrade as well too. So first off, let's talk about what is Teachable. When we talk about running our online courses, we need somewhere to hold all of the content, to hold your videos, your PDF downloads, your live call recordings. All of those files need to live somewhere, and they need to live somewhere that A, can be gated behind a paywall because we want people to be able to pay to access your course, and B, creates a unique sign-in for each person. We don't want to create a course and put it behind a general sign-in because that's when we run into problems with people sharing the sign-in and also it getting widely distributed. So we want to know who has access to our course, and we want to make sure the right people who have paid have access to the course. The great thing about these online course platforms is they take care of all of that for us. That's what the software is built for. So in a nutshell, this kind of software like Teachable, like Thinkific, which we're going to cover, like Podia, which we're going to cover in another series as well, all of these keep the content safe behind a paywall so that nobody can access it unless they've paid for it. Now, those are the fundamentals, but of course, there's more features and attributes to these kind of programs as well. So like, do you want to bundle things together, which we're going to go through? Do you want to drip out your content, or do you want it all released at the same time? So there's a lot of different settings that are unique to your course. So we're really just going to build one example of what's possible, but I think it's going to cover a really solid baseline and allow you to make custom adaptations for your course as well too. So today we're doing Teachable. This 3 video series is all about Teachable. I'm going to do another one on Thinkific, another one on Podia, and then we're going to keep going with all of the platforms as well. So one of the first questions that I usually always get is, which plan do I need? So it depends on the platform because they're going to offer a different set of features for each plan. What I always recommend is start off with free. Start off with free, get into the dashboard, start poking around, start uploading things, and only upgrade when you really need to. So as of right now, I've signed up for a free account. But in this video series, we're going to go through what's included in the free account, but also why I'm going to upgrade to basic when I carry you through the upload as well as the launch as well too. So let's take a quick look what's included in these. And I'm going to go through things that are really important to keep an eye on, and then other things that can wait for a little further down the line until you're creating a bit more income. So some of the big differences between the free tier and the basic tier is the transaction fees. So basically this means anytime someone purchases your course, Teachable will take $1 plus 10% of your course sales. And that's the fee. So there's no monthly fee to Teachable, but per transaction, you're going to pay $1 plus 10% of that transaction as well before tax. For the basic, that's scaled down to 5%. So you'll have to do some math here about how many people are signing up and then how much money you'll end up spending in fees versus upgrading to a paid plan. So this is a calculation you'll need to do within your business as well too. Of course, when we go to pro and business, they're taking 0% because they're taking a higher monthly fee. So I've signed up for the free one, but we're going to upgrade to basic throughout this video series. Next thing is admin users, 1 or 2. This isn't hugely important. You'll probably just need 1 for now. If you need to share your admin login, that's totally up to you and your prerogative. but if you prefer to have separate seats for admins, you want to at least upgrade to basic there. If you just have one course, this is a pretty important one, then you just need the free, but if you have any more than one course, you will need to upgrade to basic. Same goes for coaching and digital downloads. If you have more than one ebook, say you have a few different recipes or something like that, then you'll need to upgrade to basic because you'll have unlimited, but with the free, you still get the one. So it's a good place to get started, but inevitably people outgrow it and end up upgrading to basic. So looking at some core features here, we've both got unlimited students, integrated website builder, custom domain. Now, some people say that this is super important. I don't think it necessarily is when you're first starting off. Teachable is a really reputable company, so even if you give your students a domain that says mycourse.teachable.com, which will be the generic domain that they provide for you, it's still really reputable. But if you want something on brand with a custom domain, then you'll have to go up to basic as well. Direct integrations, this one I do think is important. So from all the lists below, I think this is the next most important one after the actual number of courses. Direct integrations allows you to integrate to things like Facebook, Zapier triggers, MailChimp, ConvertKit, Google Analytics, and so on. So these integrations come with basic, but they don't come with free. So just keep that in mind as well too. That's basically the one big reason that in this course we're going to upgrade to basic, because I want to show you how these integrations work too. If you're not sure that you need any other integrations, what you'll need to do is take a list of all the other softwares that you're using. Do you need people to be put into Google Sheets, or using Airtable, or using ConvertKit? If you're using any external softwares outside of Teachable, you will need an integration because it'll either integrate directly or through Zapier as well too. So next ones we don't necessarily really need. Advanced theme customization. We can choose some branding colors, which is more than fine. The usability of Teachable is really good. I think we're fine there, especially when we're starting. Public API, you don't need that. That's mostly for developers, so you're fine without those two. Integrated payment processor, we definitely need that, but that's available for both. We have tax handling, referral marketing, email marketing. We'll need at some point, but you may not need it right away. Affiliate, advanced reporting, and so on. So as we can see, a lot of these other features we don't really need upfront. One of the biggest ones we'll need upfront, like I said, is the amount of courses, the amount of digital downloads, and the integrations. And that's the reason why we're going to upgrade to basic. Let's check out our checklist. So we're going to go into our account. We've already set up an account, so you can go ahead and sign up. I have put my link below if you want to sign up through Teachable. I'm going to go in, we're going to upgrade to basic, and then we're going to start with the theme setup. So I'm going to check off setup account. Already have that. If you haven't done that yet, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to log into mine here. It's going to check for security, and we are in. As soon as you sign up for account, it's going to create a demo school for you. This school is offline, and it's just called My Demo School, just to start off with. So I'm going to click into that school, and it'll bring you straight into the dashboard. It'll bring you to a getting started page, and of course it's going to ask you to start creating your course, creating a digital download, but we're going to do that after. We're going to fully set up our settings first, then we're going to add our content, and then we're going to check to make sure everything's put together. So first things first, let's upgrade. So it asks us to upgrade right here as soon as you come in. Anywhere you are along the site, if you haven't upgraded yet and you're still on the free one, it's going to give you multiple prompts to be able to update. So you'll never not know how to update. When you go to update, it'll give you the option of billing annually and then also billing monthly as well too. Save a little bit by going annually, but if you're not sure, you can go monthly, and then you can always upgrade to manually later if you'd like. Great, so I've added my payment information, and it brings me directly into the dashboard to see all the features that are available on this new plan as well. So we've upgraded, upgrade to basic, perfect. Theme setup, site colors, and branding. So in here, we want to head over to the dashboard on the left-hand side. Click over to site, and then we're going to start coordinating some of the branding together. So this is the extent that we can customize the store without fully being able to dive in and customize the theme. That's available, I believe, on the professional level, but we can make this cohesive with our branding and use the same fonts, colors, and logos. So let's upload our logo, thumbnail, the same logo, thumbnail, and favicon. The course we're creating is called Online Course Academy, which is a little bit meta, but it's sort of the fake course that I've created. It has real material in it, but it is a fake course that I've created as a sample to be able to upload into these various course softwares. Great, so we've got our logos there. And then we have some preset palettes on the bottom. You can go into each one of these elements and cater it exactly to your current branding. I'm going to choose a preset palette. I'm going to choose number 3. I like the pink and the blues together. Eye-catching, click save, and then we can preview it just up here. Great. So you'll see up here, we can preview it as public. It gives us an example of the landing page that people get when they come to our storefront. So we can switch this up to feature all of our products and bundles and so on. This we're going to configure in the last video because it's going to be after the course is already created and we'll have a little bit more to work with. Great. Theme setup, colors, and branding. Awesome. So we're going to head into settings and go through the next few integrations as well too. Over here on the left-hand side, click over the gear settings and let's go through general. So when you sign up for Teachable, it asks you a few questions and it'll automatically fill in this information according to those questions as well too. So we want our school name, sender's email, business name, email address, and you're going to go ahead and fill all of this in according to your business. Now we're going to get down into security and privacy, anonymize IPs for Google Analytics, add a CAPTCHA. This prevents spam. I do recommend adding a CAPTCHA, so you should keep that on. For the logins and sign-up settings, I do like to enable this because if somebody signs up and they already have a Teachable account with other courses in it, we want those to be able to show up in the same dashboard or them to be able to access them fairly easily as well. Enable for that one. And then we have Google accounts. So it allows users to sign up and log in with their Google account, reducing the risk of multiple accounts logging in. So both of those are enabled. Excellent. Now within general settings, people often miss this as well too. Up on the top beside website, it'll say courses, and there's some settings to consider inside courses as well too. These are all personal preference and really goes along with what kind of program you're creating, but do you want to autocomplete the lectures? Do you want to autoplay videos? Don't necessarily want to autoplay videos. That's totally up to you. Our comment settings. Do you want comments held for moderation? Do you want to allow attachments to comments? And do you want to allow threading and so on? So sometimes this gets missed, but just make sure in the global settings you click on courses and go through those as well too. Next, we're going to go into payments. We want to make sure that when somebody comes to the site, they can check out. They can pay for your course, and then it's right after they pay, the system takes care of giving them access, redirecting them to the dashboard, and so on, because we do want to set up payment gateways as soon as possible. Now, to authenticate your account, you want to enter your phone number here. Click continue. It's going to bring you through an authentication process, and I will see you on the other side of that. Great. So after your account is set up, it's going to ask you some personal questions about yourself. It's also going to ask you for banking information. So as long as you put that in, you can move on to the next step. As soon as you put in your banking information, it's all handled through Stripe, which is a secure platform. So when people pay, Stripe is the processor that it's using behind the scenes, but the money will be put directly into your account. So you don't need to go into Stripe and pull it out. Stripe is just the processor. As soon as people pay you, it will get put into your account. Right, so moving on to the next step, we'd like to set a schedule. So do you want to get paid daily, weekly, monthly? Let's set weekly. For additional 2% transaction. Now this is totally up to you. I haven't used back office before, but I believe it's paired together with PayPal. So if you have any affiliates, it allows you to automatically pay those out when the money comes in so that you don't have to pay them out separately. I don't have affiliates right now, so I'm not going to allow back office because just know that it will charge 2% additional transaction fee for every transaction, no matter if it's done through an affiliate, no matter if it's done through PayPal, Stripe, anywhere. So just know that that's across the board to allow this service. So I'm going to skip. Tell us about your plans. Let's do tech and gaming. Average price of our courses, we're going to do $22. It's going to give you a transaction fee breakdown, which is the 5% transaction fee from Teachable. And there's also a processing fee. So keep that in mind as well too when you're pricing your course, when you're calculating expenses and all of that as well. This goes to Stripe. So this goes to the processor that's processing your accounts, 2.9% of all transactions plus 30 cents. And then the transaction fee is the one that goes to Teachable. So we've set it up once a week. All of this, we can always come back and enable back office if we choose to in the future. Looks like everything is ready to go. So our payment setup, taxes. If you're collecting tax, you have to have your tax ID in here. So if you're in the EU collecting VAT, if you're in Canada collecting any one of these, you need to submit a tax ID so that anyone in the qualifying places, it can be automatically calculated the amount of taxes that they're being paid, and that will be itemized. So if you're paying taxes to any of these entities, please include your tax ID and give that a save as well too. Now they do want to ask if taxes are included on the prices. So what that means is that if your course sells for $100, when somebody goes to check out and say there's 13% tax, do you want them to pay $113 or still pay $100 and then do the calculation on the back end, how much of that is taxed and how much of that goes to you? Totally up to you. I think people are pretty used to seeing taxes added on at the end if you're in an area that pays taxes. So I like to leave this off. For accounting purposes, talk to your accountant. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. But for my own purposes, I like to keep this off because I like tax to be added on top of it. It keeps the core price of the course the same, and it's easier for my accounting purposes. I don't know if it's easier for yours, so please refer to an accountant. Then we go through notifications. So these are personal preference. Do you want to be notified when a new student joins the school, when they enroll in a course, a paid course or a free course? Totally up to you. So make sure you go through these notifications so you're aware of what's going on in your store as well too. We've got our plan. We've already upgraded to the basics, so we're good there. Now, after we've upgraded to the plan, we've already entered all of our billing information, so it has all of that. I'm going to skip this billing one right here because it's going to reveal some personal information about myself, but just know that if you click on this billing one, that's where it's going to show you how you paid for the current plan that you're on. Now let's pop down to integrations. So we've got settings general, settings payment gateway, settings taxes. We are getting there. So for integration, what this means is, do you want Teachable to talk to any other software? So I think the best case scenario for this is any email service provider. So right here, you'll see that it's giving ActiveCampaign as an example. ActiveCampaign is a great platform, one of my favorites. We do have a sample account of ConvertKit already set up. So we're actually going to integrate ConvertKit, and then we're going to integrate Zapier as well too. So that will allow us to integrate our email service provider directly because ours is ConvertKit, or if yours is ActiveCampaign, you can integrate that directly as well too. Now, if it's not, or if it's MailChimp, you can do the same. Now, if it's none of these, if it's Entreport or Keep or Infusionsoft, if it's Flowdesk, if it's any other email service provider, you can still integrate those, but you'll have to do it through a bridge platform, which is something like Zapier. There's another bridge platform called Make or Integromat, depending on when you've used it. But Zapier is definitely the most popular, most user-friendly, and integrates with the most amount of. So part of the reasons we upgraded to basic was that we could cover our bases by integrating directly with ConvertKit, but also integrating with Zapier to be able to bridge it to thousands of other software. So if we want to make a spreadsheet of the people who have completed the first module, that's something we can do through Zapier. So having these integrations opens us up to a huge world of automations that we can create with our online program. So let's get started and integrate these two. So ConvertKit. It's going to ask for API, secret API, and form ID. Pop into ConvertKit. So in ConvertKit, you should see all of those in your settings, and then down here in advanced. So after we've got our key and our secret key from the settings, we want to go up to Grow, Landing Pages and Forms, because it's also going to ask for a form ID. Now we have OCA leads, but we need a members form. Now people aren't necessarily going to sign up using this form, but this form acts as a bridge. So it collects information. You'll see right here, I'm going to choose this one. This form collects information, and a form would typically collect information from an outside source of somebody who fills in the form. But instead of that, it's going to collect information from Teachable for these fields like email address and first name, and it's going to add them to ConvertKit, pulling them from Teachable, as opposed to pulling them from like the landing page of a website or something like that. It's just another way to integrate these two platforms together. So we're going to label this OCA Teachable first. And then when we do this, we'll click Save. And then what happens is look in the URL, and this is how we're going to find our form ID. So in the URL, you'll see after the word forms, designers, there's going to be a string of numbers. That is our form ID. So that's where we're going to pull it. Great. Inside ConvertKit, that's where we can start to go through and make triggers based on who's added to this form. So if someone's added to the form, we can kick off a welcome email. If someone's added to the form, we can start a sequence or an automation of dripped content. So setting up a form, grabbing the ID, and integrating it with Teachable allows us to deliver information from Teachable to ConvertKit, and then we can trigger a whole bunch of actions based on those two platforms being tied together through the form. So any automations we create in ConvertKit, we can trigger them as a form entry, and those people will go through that automation. So ConvertKit, install. Amazing. Zapier, going to install that. So to install Zapier, let's log into our Zapier dashboard. So once we're in Zapier, we want to navigate over to My Apps. So we have a list of all the apps that are already integrated with Zapier. You'll see that Teachable is one of them. We'll click on that. It'll say we set it up about a month ago, but we want to know how to set up an app from scratch because this one we've already set up. I will test this one. So if you click on the dots on the right-hand side, you can say test connection and it can test that to make sure it's successful. But if you're adding connection from scratch, you want to make sure, I'm going to pull this into the screen. You want to make sure that you click add connection and then this pop-up will come up. It's going to ask you for the email, password, and login for Teachable. Now this information is your email and password from Teachable because we want to connect these two together. So we're already logged into Zapier, but we also want to connect Zapier to Teachable. So using this window, we're going to enter the login information from our Teachable account as well as this Teachable URL. You can get that from the URL bar. So up here, you'll see my example school. It says .teachable.com, but my school's name is this sample, right? So you'd go up here and copy that. And then with your email and password for Teachable, we pop this in here. So that's your full Teachable URL. You'll click yes, continue, and then it will automatically add it to a connection and you're good to go. So after you come back from Zapier and you've tested the connection to make sure that it works, you should come back to this page and it might not say installed here. It's not a direct integration. It's almost like a third-party integration. So it might not say installed. As long as your test went through on Zapier, that means they're connected. So don't worry too much about this installed tag. Now, we've got Zapier set up. Amazing. We also have ConvertKit set up too. Now we're going to set up the domain and navigation and the teacher's bio. Let's actually skip down to the teacher's bio because that's less technically intensive. So for teacher's bio, we can go over here to site, navigate down to bios. It's going to bring up you because you're the person who signed up for it. You can add a bio if you have more teachers and more instructors. So you have multiple teachers for one course. You can add more bios, but you can also edit your existing bio here. Say my bio. And then we can image. Now let's pull it from my computer. Me, perfect. Upload complete. Now I've got a picture of myself, my bio. Excellent. It's so much nicer having a picture when your students are inside learning from you instead of having sort of this ominous shape. So it is important to include a bio. Functionally, doesn't make any difference, but for student experience, I would highly recommend adding a bio. Bio's done. Now for the last two, setting up your domain. So we're setting up a custom domain because remember we upgraded to basic, so that's one of the features we can take advantage of now. We're also setting up navigation as well, or rather seeing that navigation is set up and seeing if there's anything else that we need to add to it. Let's check on navigation first. So just above bios, we can go ahead and click on navigation. So it does have some pre-made navigations for you, which basically depending on if you're logged in or if you're logged out, what's going to show up on the top banner. So if you're logged out, it says we're going to show the homepage, which I think makes sense. We're going to show the homepage because we can modify the homepage. We can feature some of the courses on the homepage that people can register for. And then when they're logged in, the course directory. These make the most sense, and these are the default settings, so I'd like to keep these as it is. Now, navigation bar, this is where you can add custom links. So they can see my products, the products that they're enrolled in, and they can also see all the products too. This is a good purchase opportunity, so if they haven't purchased any other courses or digital downloads or bundles from you, they can now see all of the ones that are available to be purchased. You can also add more links as well too. So you can add them to external links. This is a great way to include links to your website, to your YouTube channels, to your link trees, to your social media. So just know that you can add more to this navigation as well too. So we're going to go ahead and add main website open a new tab. If you're going to a separate site, typically say yes, visible to all. And you can add, so we can add some custom links in the navigation as well too. You can grab them on the left-hand side and move them around if you need to as well too. Hide or show login and sign-up settings. I like to have a sign-in available wherever I can. Helps customers out, helps user experience. I'd like to keep on the login one, especially after people have purchased already. We want to make sure they don't get frustrated on any level. So keep that sign-in visible. And now we've customized our navigation a little bit more, so we'll save that. And finally, the last thing is the domain. So let's get into domain. When we want to create a custom domain, or rather assign a custom domain inside Teachable, we have to take 3 important steps to do so. So before we go into these 3 steps, there's 2 things that you'll need to do. You need to purchase a domain wherever you like. You purchase in GoDaddy, Squarespace, Namecheap, wherever you like, go ahead and purchase the required domain. Second thing is you're going to sign up for a Cloudflare account. Now you need the free one. That will take you as far as you need to go because we're just going to use it as what's called a proxy to be able to do a couple things. First, it'll create an added layer of security. Secondly, it allows us more control over what we can manipulate and the settings we can change inside the domain. So go and register an account with Cloudflare. And then we want the following 3 things open. We want the back end of our Teachable account with the domains tab open. We want our domain registrar. Whoever you purchased your domain through, we want that tab open as well too. And then we want your Cloudflare tab open. So I'm going to start to dig in from here. I already have the Teachable one open. I've already purchased my domain, and I'm going to start with Cloudflare. So I'm going to set up my Cloudflare account, and then I'm going to integrate these 3 together. If we go to setup, new password, and then create account. Should be pretty straightforward. As soon as you've created an account, it'll bring you straight into here, and you want to click add site. So for the add site, we want to take our newly registered domain and add that site in here. Once that site is added inside Cloudflare, the second thing that we're going to do, well, we're going to choose a free plan. So we're going to click on free and continue. You can do a quick scan of the DNS, and probably what it's going to find is that we've registered our domain elsewhere. Great. So it's letting us know that Cloudflare can manage the DNS for OCA. And basically that's what we're using Cloudflare to do as like a DNS manager because it gives us a bit more security and flexibility than our domain registrar. But we need some more permissions to allow Cloudflare to fully access this domain. And that means we need to connect those together with the name servers. So inside your domain registrar, which may be GoDaddy, maybe one of the other ones, we want to get to the name servers. So we want to change these, and there should be just 2. So you'll see there's 4 in here right now, but there's only the red asterisks beside 2 of them. So we're going to change those top 2 mandatory ones to point our domain to Cloudflare, because that's where we want to manage it, or manage the DNS from it rather. So hopping back over to Cloudflare, after you've set up your account and you've entered in your new domain address, it's going to bring you to this page. You can click continue, but because they're not connected yet, it's not really going to do anything. So it's going to give us an error here. So after it gives us the error, it'll either bring us to the screen, or if you lose the screen at any point, you can go back over to overview and it'll give you the same information. So if we're here in overview to be able to connect these 2 sites together, you'll see that it asks you to log into your domain registrar. Now, these were our 4 name servers because it's able to grab those. I deleted the bottom 2 because we're just going to replace 2 of them. So it's able to read those, and then it's giving me some direction. We want to replace those with the Cloudflare ones. So here, it's here. Update name servers. Now, because what we're doing is called DNS changes, sometimes these can take a while to update. So down at the bottom here, it says domain registrars can take up to 24 hours to process. Usually they don't take that long. So we're just going to check name servers right now. See what it. Great. So I refreshed the page after a couple minutes and it looks like Cloudflare is pointing to our site. So the first step is done. We've got our domain where we registered it has now handed over its capabilities to Cloudflare for us to be able to use that to edit the DNS for this domain. Now, what we need to do is the DNS for this domain needs to point to Teachable. So this is the next step. So we want to go over in Cloudflare, click down DNS, records, And this is where we can see our name servers here. So you should see these are the name servers. And then also now we're going to add 2 records. So in this box that says DNS management for your domain, oca.tech, we're going to add record, and we're going to add 2 CNAME records. CNAME, we're going to use the @ sign, which means the root. That means like it's not going to live on a subdomain or anything. It's going to live on the root of this domain, oca-teach.com. And then the target is school.teachable.com. The reason it's school.teachable.com is because all of our Teachable online portals, they all live on Teachable servers. Like we don't own those servers. We don't own the locations that those live on. So we have to point our domain to those locations. The address, just like a street address of that location where these all live, is school.teachable.com. And that's the same no matter what Teachable site you have. All going to be school.teachable.com because that's where their servers live for everyone's online courses. So we're going to add that one. So this basically says, if someone types in this URL, it's going to pull up Teachable servers in the background and direct them to our version of the site that lives there. Great. So let's click save. Perfect. We're going to add a second record. It's also going to be CNAME record. Now this one, we're going to use www, mostly because we just want to cover both bases. If somebody's typing into the browser, oca-teach.com, whatever your domain is, we also want it to be accessible through www.oca-teach.com. We add that one and click save. These are the only 2 records that you need to add inside Cloudflare. So now our business with the domain registrar is done because we've changed the name servers. Our business with Cloudflare is done because we've changed the CNAME record. Great. Pending, come back later to check status. So this could take an hour or 2. So meet me back here and we're going to make sure that the status comes back as successful. And then the very last step is changing over our primary domain from this one over to this one. So after you've set all of that up, you might be coming back to your domain page and refreshing a few times, and it might still say pending. The other way to check, and this usually happens first. So we're going to take our domain and actually open that up in a new tab. So you'll see here we've got OCA-teach, and right now, because we haven't published the course yet, it does have a landing page, and you can see at the bottom it says this school is powered by Teachable, and it says Marg's Demo School, which is the name of our school. So even though the course isn't published yet, we do have a successful launch on the custom domain. It is linked to Teachable. It is showing up the correct school front. So we know this is a success. Hopping back in here after a little bit of a wait to show you that we are officially verified. I didn't have to take any additional steps, so the setup that we did was totally smooth and worked great for a custom domain. Now we do have a verified one for the new custom domain. What I want to do is click on the right-hand side and say make primary. That's going to be in progress, going to swap over to primary, and we are all sorted. The school is officially on the correct domain and everything is verified. Great. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to review how to build one of these pages, make sure the checkout's working, and we're going to do a test transaction to confirm the entire launch funnel is good to go.